department?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Yeah.
Awesome. So you said your name was Michael, correct?
Yes, Michael.
Okay.
Michael Reed.
All right.
REID. And you want my email or my website?
Whatever you would like.
Yeah, my website is ABQ, like Albuquerque, abqserver.com. And
abqserver.com.
Yeah, we specialize in skip tracing and finding hard to find individuals. So if you have anything like that, or any serves in general, but obviously if you need somebody, we're here for you. And you can put my phone number down too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you can put down the best phone number for that so that I know that it's a really important call. 833 693 3453.
All right, Mr. Reed, let me repeat those facts just to make sure that I have them correct. Yep. So it's 833 693 3453.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, you said some sort of tracing. What did you call it again?
Yeah, skip tracing. So if somebody skips town, leaves, and doesn't, you can't find them, we can find them. We've yet to not be able to find somebody. The only time was the person was dead, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I will certainly get that onto the correct department. So it's abqserver.com.
Yeah, and you guys, this is Donald's office, or is this like a phone tree?
Oh yeah, this is Business Law Southwest.
Okay. Just so I don't keep bugging you. There's a bunch of attorneys in that office, or that you answer for, or.
Yeah, I'm just the receptionist. I take the calls for everybody.
I see. Well, listen, I'll come in. You don't work for the court, so I can come in and bring you coffee, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we do have our physical office location. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate it. We get some business from you. We can sponsor different luncheons and things like that. If we do a lot of paralegal association sponsorships and stuff, so if there's any way that we can help you guys make your lives easier, that's what we're here for.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for calling, Mr. Reed. Like I said, I will get this over to the correct department.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, okay? Appreciate your help and time.
Yeah, thank you. You
too. Bye. So a lot of those business type offices, they can't give out information because there's 10 attorneys in that office, but there's a potential that could turn into something, right? There's a potential that she could mention it to just one person who then uses me, and then I get into with that one attorney, and then that one attorney shares my information with all the other attorneys when they go out to lunch and everything. How many was that? Was that 30? I technically did not. Look, we're almost out of time. Actually, what time is it? 3:30. Time. I want you guys to see this process work.
All right. Let's kick off today's mighty mastermind. Welcome, guys. Everybody's coming in here, letting everybody get started. One of the things I've been hearing a lot about that I want to discuss today is this idea that there's only a certain amount of customers. Okay. There's a guy, you guys can look him up. I actually recommend you look him up. His name is Tillman, and his last name's Tillman. He's a billionaire, and he became really famous for building restaurants, and he owns in Disney World. He owns half the restaurants inside of Disney World. And Tillman, one of his famous phrases is that there are no extra customers. Okay. Now, this idea I do agree with when it comes to like consumer type businesses. But one of the really cool things about the industry that we are in, just like plumbers and electricians, is that people only need us when they need us, right? Like we're not going to be able to get to entice them to come to our restaurant because they're hungry, right? Um, let's see here. Make co-host. There we go. Calling for helper. I got 9 puppies that want help. And a mama dog that's saying, "Save me from these puppies." They're getting so big. How are your puppies doing, Jeff?
Oh, they're doing well. They're making me work a lot. I've got to put up a fence outside so they have a secure area so they don't run me down the block. But yeah, they're doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, they look a lot like the ones we have. They have like some markings on them and stuff, but they're very pretty dogs,
Thank
definitely.
you. Yep.
So let's get it started. Those of you guys that are brand new to the community, I have a couple VAs here and in the chat that might be answering some questions. They are being trained daily to be able to help inside the community on school to direct people to the right videos, where to go if people are new to the community. So feel free to ask them questions. Sometimes they'll be able to reply faster than I will. The directory is undergoing a change. We're switching things up so that people don't get free listings. Okay. It's just going to be paid people who pay for a listing. And I was putting a lot of people in there that I knew were process servers that just hadn't signed up yet. Because I wanted the directory to rank well and for attorneys to use it. So up until the end of this month, the county listings, just a quick announcement. Okay. We're going to get into some introductions. Mary, make sure you're letting in people. Okay. All right. So here inside the community, if you look at the directory, you'll actually be able to, under the county listings page, um, you'll be able to go to a specific county, let's say California, and only the featured members, people who've paid for a statewide listing, will show up. Okay. There's no free ones below. However, if they click on the county, then those people will show up here. So Mary, this needs to be fixed. I'm not sure if you did something different than when I showed you, but all the featured listing people should show up on the county page as well. Okay. So we just started doing this today. And so a full list of everyone who we have in the California page will show up below until the end of this month. And then moving forward, anyone who starting February 1st, we're going to do a promotion where you get for $10 you'll be listed here. $10 a month. And I think we're going to do $97 for the whole year if you wanted to pay up front. Okay. And that'll be now, if you're a featured member, you'll show up here and you'll also show up here. You don't have to have a separate listing, if that makes sense. But for those people who are just getting started and they only want business in their local county, it's a great way to get listed in other counties as well, in other states. So if you pick a couple states where you're like, I don't want to have a whole statewide listing for, $97, because eventually it'll be more, right? Right now it's 37 in the different states. You could choose a specific county that's in a big city and pay $10 a month and see if you get any business out of it. And you won't have all these people here. You'll have 2 or 3. Does that make sense? You won't have hundreds that we have in here now. There'll be whoever's paying. That's how it's going to be. But I haven't started prospecting and building this up yet, but it's already ranking because as you can see, it's each page is essentially like let's say I click on Alabama, for example. That's the one I did. So it's the way that I want it. So if you click on the county, click on one of the counties, it'll show all the featured members and then it'll show all the people here. Um, so yeah, so that's it. So it's optimized to be able to rank, to help everything rank really well. That's the idea. We're going for rankings first, and then we'll go to make it look beautiful later. And of course, if you click on one that has an actual listing, you'll be able to click and see the full members information and their company message and all that stuff. So that is the update on the directory. As far as the website goes, you guys can get $100 off right now when you use the promo code MPS 2025. I put that here in this week's post. And so today, what I want to talk about, we're going to do introductions here in just a second, but what I want to talk about today, and I want your guys' feedback on, is fear. See, I put in here in my post, like, that switch wasn't given to me, like maybe fear of talking to ladies or, or fear of heights, maybe, but fear of business and taking action and things like that. I just never had that. Maybe it's because I don't really care too much about what other people think. If they have issue with me, take issue with me. I don't know what it is, but I just don't have that. Like, I am going to go all in. If I fail, I'm like, hey, we all fail. Like, let's try again. Let's do something a little bit different and try again. So if you're brand new to the community, you may not know this, but process serving was the very first business that I had that made over $100,000 a year, all the way up to over $400,000 a year. And I invested in a software that did really well, got into real estate. Now I'm doing a bunch of different things, and I want to be able to give back to this community, for this industry that has given me so much. And for those of you guys that have been in the industry a long time, and I talk about this industry is the most underserved industry. I don't know if it's that people don't like process servers. There's this cliche of process servers. They just don't know about process servers. I don't know. But anybody who actually serves the industry at a high level also owns a process serving company, right? They are your competitor in one fashion or another. Serve Manager, and like ABC now bought PST, like you name it. There might be one out there as a guy in his basement that created a software and he doesn't have a process serving company, but he's not even a factor in the industry, right? There's that guy too. So I guess what I'm saying is I want to give back to a level where eventually when I sell 123 legal support for millions of dollars, I could still be a part of this community. We could build something that helps everyone achieve the goals that they have for their business, right? From all different levels. So if you're new, put in the chat who you are, or even if you're not new, let's get to know each other. You put your company name, phone. In the future, when there's hundreds of people, we won't do full-on introductions. We'll just put it all in the chat. You guys network with each other in the chat. Get used to that, so that you can help each other. And you'd be surprised. I've heard from a lot of people in the community that they get work from other people that's inside the community. Did I post my post? I was doing a post on Facebook. I think I did it. Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay, good. So Facebook, the different Facebook groups are really, I got some people that are like, I want to get into your Facebook group. I'm like, so I'll end up letting them in, but I'm like, the goal is to get you into the school community because that's where things are really happening. So if you're not in there already, you want to go join the school community, just go to mightyprocessserver.com and click on community, and it'll take you to our free community where most of the folks in here, I believe, are already in. So let's get rocking. Nobody's waiting. Mary, you're doing a good job. Let me see. Yeah, Mary's doing a great job. Appreciate you, Mary. All right, we'll go to the first, the big dog, Mr. Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing great. Jeff Spar, Private Investigations by Jeff Spar, Process Servers, private investigators, 30 years in the business, 30 minutes east of Virginia Tech, and retired in 2021, but I just still am at it after 30 years. Son's taken over the business, and so I'm glad to be here.
Welcome, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all that you do for the community. Jeff's the guy who's posting and posting and posting. And you guys, if you want to ever win the weekly, but the good news is
Jeff has to be sick in order for us to go and win 1 week.
Well, you can only win once a month. So,
okay.
So Jeff, he's crushing it, but he can only win once a month. So you guys have some chance. So we're gonna look at that here in a second as well. But Jeff is a great example of what it means to be engaged. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Mr. Chris Topher. You're muted, buddy. You're muted. You're still muted. Ask to unmute.
Okay, there we go. Hey, my name's Chris McCloy. I own Resilient Process Servers out of the Seattle, Washington state area, and been in business since 2019. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome. Mr. Jacob Davis.
What's up, guys? Jacob Davis here at Rocket Courier in San Antonio, Texas, where we have been Rocket Fast since 2018.
Welcome, man. Appreciate you. Mr. Big Pete.
Pete Gentili here, Sacramento, California, serving surrounding areas as well as San Francisco and surrounding. I have a partner that I work with in that area as well, and we shoot services back and forth to each other. So basically, we've covered from Tracy area all the way up to Reno, Tahoe, and Redding, on pretty much on a local basis at will, call for quotes. In and out of the business since 2010 here in Sacramento. As I stated last week, I took a little bit of hiatus and now I'm coming back. And it's interesting to see how the clientele have changed their attitudes towards the service industry when it comes to process serving. So, yeah, yes, Brendan, Sacramento is a very crazy place.
Well, welcome, Pete.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
If you guys ever want to introduce yourself when we first get going, all you got to do is turn your camera on, and I'll call on you to introduce yourself. Okay. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Leave your cameras off. Introduce yourself inside the chat here in Zoom. And as always, you guys can save the chat by hitting the three little dots in the chat. And then when this video is over, when the Zoom is over, it will automatically save as a file on your computer, which is really helpful for me because I will go and be able to copy and paste anybody's phone numbers, emails, stuff inside my CRM so that I can reach out to them later and see maybe how much they charge in a specific area and things like that. So good stuff. Somebody. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Good stuff. Lots of people coming on in. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're just finishing up introductions. If anybody wants to share their screen, turn their camera on, they can introduce themselves. And if not, let's keep going. If you're on YouTube, that is where we are live on YouTube channel. If you guys haven't followed me on YouTube, go follow the channel. A lot of the things that I post in the community that you have to wait on the leaderboard to access, you could get right away on YouTube. That's a little secret hack for you guys. Okay. The community is good because it helps people engage, right? It helps people stay on the platform and communicate. But YouTube is where I host all the videos for free. All the trainings and everything's for free. So fear, false expectations appearing real. You probably have heard this at some point in your life, but I want you to consider it in business from now on when you hear people talk about, well, I don't want to do this because XYZ. I've coached a lot of people in real estate. I've coached now quite a few people in process serving, and a lot of them have like for example podcasting. When I first started podcasting, a lot of people were like, well, I don't want to show my face, people are going to see me at the door. There's a concept there's a concept in psychology of self-importance. You aren't as important and well known as you think you are. Like I constantly have to remind myself, like, not everybody knows you. Like I'll go to process serving conferences and someone will know me and had followed all my stuff, and I'm just like, that's so strange that you know. But it's very rare in your own community when you're marketing yourself that people actually know who you are. And if someone somehow saw a YouTube video where they saw your face, you're not that memorable. I promise you. You want to be, but you're not. I'm not either. Okay. There's a guy I know, Alex Hermosi. He's a big marketing guy, business guy, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And he talks about this where he'll go down the street and he makes videos about this book that he was writing for months and months and months. He's making these videos about, hey, I'm releasing this new book. It's going to help you. By the way, it's a great book. You know, he's $100 million leads book is amazing, teaching you how to use marketing, right? Alex Hormozy, $100 million leads. Anyway, he was talking about how he was going to give this book away for free. He was going to do this big event, and he'd been talking about it a lot. And he was walking down the street, and most of the people that he ran into as he was walking said, he'd say, "You coming to the book launch, right? I'm giving away a free copy, digital copy of it." And almost every single person that saw him on the street that recognized him from one of his reels or one of his social media things um, had no idea what he was talking about. So they had seen his face, they had known his likeness, they kind of recognized him as somebody because he's kind of an interesting looking figure. He's like all jacked and he wears shorts and cut off shirt, you know, as a millionaire walking around. But but they didn't remember what he talked about, even though he talked about it all the freaking time. And so even though he got tired of his message, you know, someone will say out of fear, they'll say, you know what? I don't want to go live. I don't want to show this. I don't want to show that. Guys, you literally have to scream from the rooftops. You don't have to make video content. You don't have to make a podcast, but you can't let fear guide your decisions. If your decision is based on fear, you got to get rid of it. You got to not think about that. Now you might be saying, well, what if I'm thinking about starting my business, but I'm afraid I might run out of money? That's a valid fear. Okay. That's a valid fear. But that doesn't mean that you don't do it. You keep doing the job that's paying the bills and you go start these. See what I'm saying? There's other options and other decisions that can be made that could lead you down the path of success without having to go down the path of fear, right? What do you guys have? I want to open up to you. This is a mastermind. This is not Michael's mind. This is just a topic that I have had to wrestle with in my own business, in my own past, and it continues to pop up. Well, what if, right? When people start complaining about being listed for free on my directory, I'm like, you know, all the what ifs happen, you know, and it's like, you know what? Actually, I don't really care. Let's just pivot, make it do something a little different, you know. Not that I can't afford to be sued. I can handle a court battle or whatever, but I don't want to, right? Like my life is peaceful, drama free. Like I don't want to. And so I want to open it up to you guys. What is a time where you've dealt with fear? And let's go around the room and see what everyone has to say. Mr. Pete, you got your hand up. Guys, you can raise your hand by clicking the raise your hand feature. If you're on your phone, you might have to click more. I think it's called more. And then you can raise your hand or emotions or something like that. And you can raise your hand. Big Pete.
So this one is really current, like as of yesterday. And I got a phone call from a PI who I normally don't treat PIs as affiliates, but I was trying to extend him a courtesy rate to get a serve done. And he wanted a corporation served, he wanted the individual of the corporation served, and he wanted a doe served. So I gave him a quote for the 3 on that. And then we did tag back and forth on email. And finally, he came to the point of saying, hey, what are your rates? Break them down so that I know what it is. And offering him an affiliate rate was like almost 60% of the cost of what I would normally charge. And he came back and said, well, the attorney won't pay that. Now the attorney approved this and they'll only pay this. Can you do it for that? And I pretty much told him, you know, that's fine. Fill my paperwork out and send it to me. And he said, I already gave you the information in the primary email. And he refuses to fill out the paperwork that's on the website. Okay. So I got a holier than thou attitude. I got a request for a lower price than an affiliate. And on top of that, now he's requesting that I serve these people on the first attempt, when I don't know if there's anybody here that's from the state of Washington, but in the state of Washington, it specifically says on all 3 of the different rules that I looked up that you have to do diligence first and provide the diligence to the court before you can either post it or get a substitute service. So when I quoted him that back in email, he's telling me, no, it's got to be done, can be done on this attempt. And I requested the diligence information and he hasn't provided it. So at that point, I withdrew. I'm asking, how do you guys feel about that scenario?
Well, Pete, we're not going to go down that scenario just yet. Okay. Because we're talking about fear. And you raised your hand to talk about fear. Are you
That's
afraid
where
of
I'm
something?
feared.
Are you fear it? What do you fear?
Yeah,
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. What's it?
So the fear part of this is this: the guy's lowballing me and wants me to serve something that's out of the scope of what the legalities are.
Okay.
I'm fearing if I do that, something goes wrong, he can put up my bond or my license.
Okay. All right. So if you make a decision based on fear, right? So okay. So let's open it up. I know what I think, what I'd like to say, but let's hear what everyone else. This is a mastermind. What do you guys think? Or what questions do you have for Pete? I don't know, Pete. I think people are all kind of just Don has something.
Well, no, Don pretty much said it, and that's what I felt too, is right there. So I'm not lowering the price. If he can't pay an affiliate price when he's not an affiliate, then I'm not doing the work.
Okay.
As a person that's served for about 5 or 6 years in California, Pete, they're going to have a very, 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 very good reason to come after your license and bond. They can't just do it for some frivolous kind of action like that. I mean, it takes an act of God. So just so you know.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
But
Yeah.
if I serve it on the first attempt, they can lose the case if there's no diligence to back it on a substitute service, correct?
Well, it all goes from the place it was filed. Was it filed in California or Washington?
It was filed in Washington.
They would have to go upon there. So I don't know about Washington, but I know in Utah you can subserve on the first attempt as long as the person you're giving it to verifies the residency of the servee. It may be something like that. So I would definitely look into Washington law. But if they request something like that, then they must know what they're talking about, being attorneys, but you don't want to assume things, right? You want to make sure you're safe. And that'll take away the fear of it by looking into that kind of stuff. And also the Mighty Process Server website has all of the state's rules on it. So that's an easy reference point for you.
Okay.
Thanks, Brendan. That's a good point. Yeah, Pete. You know, you served for me for a while, and you were always very cautious about some things, and where I was like, which I appreciated. I remember, and in some situations like this, it's a matter of just being when you own your own business, which is what you're doing, right? You're true. We serve people as independent contractors, but just sometimes just telling them, hey, look, this is, if you want me to do XYZ, I'll do it for an extra price. If that's too much for you, I'm sorry, you can hire somebody else, period. That's kind of the way I would go with it. Yeah. And at the end of the day too, like, I'm not afraid to give a refund. Like, I know there was a stage in my business where I couldn't. I like literally the money you paid me is what I used to go serve it, um yeah, looks like we might have lost them. But that'd be my opinion. Anybody else deal with fear or have anything for Pete? Oh, there you are. Anybody else have anything on that or any other fears? I know some people have told me when I talk about like doing a bid, um, that you could do a bid on a county project, and they're like, "Well, my business isn't big enough, XYZ," when none of that stuff matters, right? Brittany, you have your hand up. I know Don still has hers up too. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I would just say, as the fear part, I mean, fear's always been a part of this for me, especially, I mean, not just serving in California where it's gangland territory everywhere. I mean, I kind of grew up in it, so it was kind of a normal thing for me, unfortunately, but thankfully not in Texas where I live anyway. But I've always been the sole provider of 5 children and a wife. So a little bit of a blended family, if you will. And that's a lot to take on. But when I started this, I was extremely fearful to start my own business. But I figured, hey, I was already doing it for ABC, Proof, and one other place. What's the difference of me just, having the clients and sending the affidavits out and getting the full price? I don't know about you guys, but the big thing that I heard about process servers going into their business for their own is seeing that affidavit. Like, what, you charged them how much and you paid me how much? Oh my gosh, I feel like a chump. I did all the work and you just sat around, right? So that's what I did is I just say, hey, screw it. I made a DBA in California, paid a lot less taxes, which was nice. Was blessed for that. Had to move out of California due to COVID, and I just restarted it up in Texas. And it's always been my go-to thing. Nothing else, like Mike said, nothing else has. I'm a 10th grade dropout. You know, I came from a bad childhood, and nothing else has given me the opportunity or been the vehicle to support that big of a family on an hourly wage or anything like that. You know, the only process serving's given that to me. So now that I started up in Texas, my wife works now, so she makes a good decent amount of money. So I was able to start my business back up and work slow and do it right. But I would just say that was just kind of telling you about myself. I don't really fear much anymore. I mean, I go into law offices, I call them all the time. I use the backup method that from Mike that I learned a couple of days ago because I'm very new to this group. I was basically doing the same thing, but it wasn't as confident as free flowing, and of course, the results were not there. You know, but like you said, you have to shout it from the rooftops. I'm going to be making a trip downtown Austin to some family law attorneys because I love doing those kinds of things from my own personal experiences. It kind of like fulfills me because I've had some issues with family law issues before, and you know, being that vehicle to help them out and get things done does my heart good. You know, so I'm going to make a trip down there and hand out flyers and talk to folks and paralegals especially, and just go from there. So just want to express my gratitude for this group in a whole. By the way, so.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, speaking up too, and starting your own business is can be a really challenge for a lot of people. Who was our poker people? Who wants to comment on the fun we had playing poker? I don't see Sean on here. I think Sean's on his vacation too. Brendan, didn't you were playing poker with us? Who else was there? Let's see.
Yes, sir. Thought I was doing good, but then started losing. So yeah, but it was fun time.
That's me too. I was doing good, and then at the end, especially, we all started just going all in, all in, all in. On just dumb hands. We were going all in on these hands, and I put a picture of it in there. We using this app called Poker Face. Everyone's invited as well to come join us. I put a link inside the community under poker. We're gonna do it for Friday nights. One of the reasons why I wanted to do that is because um and be thinking about your fears. I want to hear from everybody. If you have fear, it's not fear like, oh, you should be, it's false expectations appearing real. What is in your business that's keeping that you're supposed to do, but something is making you not do it because you're afraid of what's going to happen, or you have some. So we're going to dive into this deep into this in a second. But if you guys want to play poker, I play poker Friday nights at this Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday nights at this place. And now my son lives here, and we're just too busy to do any of that stuff. We just started this dumpster company together, and now we're just crushing it. So this is my way of still getting poker in once a week from home. So if you guys want to come play poker, we're doing it. We do it on Zoom, so you don't have to play. You can come just hang out and watch us. Okay. So we had fun. We had a full screen. There's 5 people all playing. Sarah, myself, Brendan. I think Kyle at one point was with us. I don't see Kyle today, but he was with us. And who else? Sean and Brendan. Yeah. So we had fun. Mr. Jacob, you got something?
Well, you just clarified that my fear is not what the topic of today was, because I was going to say my fear is still dogs. One of the things that we talked about a long time ago just has never left my mind is I was bit by a dog. I've been bit in other lines of work also, but and it was like the family pet. It wasn't like the neighbor's pit bull that ran from underneath the car, right? It was this beautiful, like Australian, something probably very expensive dog. And it reacted in the way that it should have because the kid was lying to me, and his body language was of fear, right? Because he was lying. Well, when the dog ran around and came out and then jumped on me, the lady came running out, who the kid kept saying was not there, right? So she got served. But the fear is this, right? So mace or a bullet. I know that's kind of extreme, but I'm sure you remember, Mike, we had the dialogue a lot because some people at the time were saying, well, I carry Scooby snacks and I give the dog a treat and it leaves me alone. And then some people at the time were saying, if you do that and the dog has an allergic reaction and dies from the Scooby snack you gave, are you liable for that? Or if you mace the dog, or if you shoot the dog. So that, Mike, I'm here to tell you that's still a big fear of mine. And I carry a 9mm with me because I'd rather go home in one piece than in multiple pieces. And I don't know. That's my fear, man.
Yeah, so I'll tell you right now, it's not a false fear. That is not. That's You're right. That is kind of a different topic, but since you're on it and it is such a big thing, let's talk about it. So, process serving, when you're out there, you have any kind of fear of being assaulted or animals or whatever. Having what I call multiple. I didn't make it up, so it's from something else, but multiple levels, multiple stages of defense. Being able to, first of all, my clipboard, that's my first stage of defense, and it's helped me get bit so many times. Having a clipboard that I have a dog come up to me and I just pop hit it in the face. First of all, don't run, right? My best defensive position is facing it,
Yeah.
right? Being able to kick its legs out from underneath it if I had to, and then escalate it. Yes, escalation of force. Thank you. And when you do the CCW classes, they teach you that. That's why I say anybody wants to carry a gun, that shouldn't even be a conversation you have until you have a clipboard that you're willing to use against something, pop it in the face. Like a metal one is even better. Um, if you're not going to do a clipboard and you just fold up all your stuff, or you put it in an envelope like a fancy New Yorker, then because I know that's what they do. Some of the counties like required, I think. I don't know. That's what I heard. Um, so if you have it as an open paper that you can see that you have to put the date on, like in California, and then you serve it, then you most likely have a clipboard, right? Or if you're asking for signatures, you might have a clipboard. Um, yeah, no. So you can have a firearm if if you have a CCW, because as a California citizen, you're a um, Brendan said that he thinks it's prohibited to carry firearms. But the thing about California process serving, and I know in a lot of other states, is you're actually only a process server because you say you are one. You can go get registered with the county, but even before you get registered with the county, you're just a citizen, American citizen over the age of 18. And by the way, that's like over half the states are that way, where it's like you're over 18, you're a citizen of the United States, you can serve papers. And in California, you can serve up to 10 without being registered. So as a citizen, you can get your CCW and you can carry. And if for some reason something happens, um, you protect yourself. And at that point, you could lose your bond. They might use your bond and you lose your registration and you maybe don't serve ever again. That's true. That is true, because you're a risk and the county doesn't want to, have you as a registered process server in their county. But you don't, but anyway, so every county is a little different. But what I was saying is having levels. So having bear spray, I love bear spray because it says such a strong projectile, right? Because you don't want to wait for a bear to be right up on you to spray it. Like it'll literally fill an entire room with just like 2 seconds of holding it, right? And it has like a little holster almost always, like a little thing that it slides out of that you can put on your belt. So that's one thing. It has a little protection clip that you want to keep in there. Don't accidentally take it off, because I did that. My overlap of my stomach pushed down on it without that clip, and it just burst inside the car and completely filled it with capsaicin, and that's not good. I couldn't see for like 2 hours trying to serve this guy. So yeah, definitely check with your local peeps. Um, your local people that do the trainings and whatnot. A baton is nice.
So
Yeah.
to answer, let me see. Somebody said, I thought in Texas you aren't allowed to carry either. So that has to do with some of those big box companies that
Right.
that set out, the parameters, on how you're going to serve, how you're going to do your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what that is. But
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of the companies are like, that their insurance won't cover it. So my personal recommendation, yeah, ABC prohibits it.
yeah.
Yeah, my personal recommendation is just to do it, and because your life, it's your life, right? Because you're not going to pull that thing unless you think you're about to die. And the idea that you're not going to carry it, because that's my personal opinion, because I am comfortable around guns, I'm comfortable using them, I've gotten lots of training, I literally go to the range at least once a week, like, so if you're not the person who's going to do that and practice and train and be an enthusiast about it, maybe don't do it. Maybe have the bear spray, have a little taser, like the little box taser that makes the noise. That's what I did for a long, long time. It never carried. And
Yeah, I
then,
agree with Brendan. Open carry. I mean, I'm gonna say it, man. It's not the most popular thing, but I think it's silly. I mean, unless you're a police officer, you know,
you're a target.
that
They see
you're
it.
making yourself a target.
Yeah,
I
no matter what you're doing, even just as a citizen, you're at the gas station, you're bending over, you're getting the gas, you turn over, you go to pick up something. Like there's just
yeah,
so many opportunities for somebody to hit you over the head and take your gun. What happens now? And you're responsible for that. You're responsible for
right.
every person that is hurt after that.
Yep.
So yeah, I believe if you're going to carry to hide it as well. What's up, Mandy? Mandy, Handy Mandy. No, that's not a good nickname. Never mind. She is rocking it over there. What's up? How you doing? Just popping in
Good.
there. Getting
I'm
comfortable.
good. I'm like, I can't believe I was actually trying to get a hold of Desi and I was looking for her number and I'm like, oh, they're online right now. I'm gonna come say what's up.
Hey, how are
I'm
you?
ready to be a mighty mastermind.
Yeah, you're here. Welcome. Yeah, we're just having a good time talking about fears and false expectations, keeping people from taking action. And Jacob brought up some dog trauma, which I think we've all had if you've done it long enough, serving papers, different ways to defend yourself against dogs.
Yeah, I'm kind of been in that I'm a freeze up procrastinator kind of person. And that's why I was trying to get a hold of Desi because I literally need to give her like 3 things so she can finish my website. And she's been waiting. It's my fault. She's been waiting on me.
Mhm.
But I
She's
don't know.
awesome. She'll take
It's
care of you.
no, she will. I don't know why I can't find her email. That's how bad I'm slacking. But it's probably good because I think I'm gonna switch over to Legal Connect. No?
No, I don't listen. When it comes to software, I don't tell people because whatever software you use is good is a good one. Okay, I just which one are you using now?
I'm using Process Server Toolbox, but I'm feeling like because I'm in California, like there's a lot of companies that are using it and like I feel like I'd get more jobs from them.
Okay. Yeah, so exactly. That's why I don't say anything because while it wasn't for me, I could see that. There's a lot of people that are on their platform that use Legal Connect and they only want to use people who use Legal Connect. In California specifically, that is true. You're right. So I have nothing
Okay.
negative to say. I just know it wasn't for me because I don't really want that affiliate work from other process servers. I'm the one charging 147, right? So when they want to send me something for 60, $70, I'm like, no. So, but yeah, they do have
That's
a
a
nice
good point. That's a good point. So that's why I'm here, I guess. I don't know if I should or not, and I'm going back and forth about it. And I guess my main thing is I'm realizing how much freaking paperwork I'm doing and it's completely unnecessary.
Mhm. With
And
serving
I'm sorry I'm
cases.
coming in and interrupting your guys' whole thing. So
No, no, no. We've been kind of go back in different topics, bouncing around a little bit. I would just say, do their free trial, or actually, they don't have a free trial, huh?
no,
They
it's like
do.
a whole ordeal
It
to
is. I did it, and I wasn't happy with it. I'll just tell you my experience. I wasn't happy that the training, and once I went through the training, I had realized all the stuff. They'll do like a demo. Their guys will come on and show you everything. I just wasn't really happy with it. I wasn't happy with the way that like it's a technology platform. It's supposed to be a technology platform. But yet if I have somebody e-file using my platform, um I have to put it in as a new job. Like I have to data entry it in as a new job. Maybe it's changed in the last 6 months, but um for it to be a job, I'm like, why isn't it seamless and it just goes across like anyway. If you're going to
so
create
that's where I'm
yeah.
struggling because I'm like, okay, so like I do get a lot of affiliate work, right? And some of them like pay me decent, but I'm like, I'm why like when I have Joe Schmo's field sheet, why am I making a whole new field sheet for this job? And then I'm having to enter in, and I haven't really gotten my server, and I'm not using the app, and I'm just like, dude, I don't like being in sitting at a desk.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
doing way too much of that. I'm printing way too much where things could just be like saved on a hard drive and transferred over. And I'm like, okay, I have to do something differently.
So what do you get? So when you're getting a job, let's walk through this really quick, and then Adele, I'll get to you in a sec. She's got her hand up. So let's say I get a new job in on my website, and because I've done it all the different ways, right? But let's say I get a new job in, they use FormStack, it goes automatically into my system, and I can do whatever I want. I can send it out for service, right? Once it's
What's
served,
FormStack?
that's what we build when you sign up for our professional plan for the website builder. You get a form stack form that allows people to order online.
Oh,
Serve,
I'll have that. I will have that. She built that for me.
yeah, she'll have that set up for you. You put in your
So if
rate.
I get it directly from them, it goes right into my process server toolbox.
Yeah, it does it for
Okay.
Serve Manager, and then for Process Server Toolbox doc, you got to do some kind of like coding and stuff, but she can help with that. And then they have a form as well that you can put on, and they have. So this is what I recommend doing on the back end of things. It's different for everybody because they like to do their proofs a different way. But on the front end of things, having it where it all just happens, it just you get the online order, you're paid up front, it goes into your system, or at the very least, it becomes a field sheet in itself. FormStack comes across as all with all the details, and then you can just print that out if you wanted to as a field sheet. And then if you
Oh,
wanted, yeah, and if you wanted to put it into PST or Server Manager, whatever you could. But ultimately, the people who order on your website are people who you don't know. That's the idea. And then once you know them, you say, "Hey, let me give you login access to my portal so that you can enter details in automatically." Now, once you cross that chasm and you can get people to do that, that's constantly what you're doing. Answering the phone, "Yep, just order on my website." "I don't know who you are." "Okay, cool. Here's the price. Order on my website. Order on my website." And people will order on your website. You get paid up front, the credit card fee is paid by the customer, and then the next thing, after you're getting them closing the deal basically on the phone, is your job is to get them to keep using you. If you're going to be one of our regular customers, especially attorneys, we're going to give you login access. PST gives you a really nice portal where they can log in and see status and all that. So Serve Manager has logins too, so does Legal Connect. But I like PSCs the best because they actually have a portal where you can put a client login, and then you can have it log into the portal on PST, and then they can actually order jobs, check status, stuff like
yeah.
that. Then they're no longer using your form, and you have to manage it a little bit differently to make sure you're getting paid. But those are the people. If it's just a one-off, fine, just use their form every time. Just have them use your form every time. You know.
But if it's affiliate and I get that their stuff and it's their service manager or legal connect worksheet, do I really need to enter all that into my like I'm like literally why am I entering all this crap in for you know what I mean? I'm like literally
Yeah.
why and I guess some people just like doing paperwork and maybe that's why I bought it from Kathy and she literally I feel like this is what's happening is we're going from um like written ledger bookkeeping to
Yeah.
QuickBooks.
Get with Desi. She's worked for
Okay.
Bonnie, who used PST forever, and then she
Well,
used.
maybe I won't switch then. Because
Well,
the
don't.
only thing I'm hesitant is like it's gonna cost me more,
Oh
and
yeah.
I've gotten used to this thing.
I would get with Desi, and then after that, I would
Okay.
get because she worked for Bonnie for 8 years using it, and then she turned around and and now she works for them, and she's like the big boss person over there now too, and she's the one building your website. She'll be the best person to talk to, but if you do decide to go with Legal Connect, it's fine. You can always cancel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I just don't want to go through all that stuff. It's
I,
a
I,
lot of work. So anyway, okay, I'm
I would,
sorry
I
to
wouldn't,
sidetrack you guys.
I wouldn't recommend it. I'm a software person. I love software. I got to try everything, and I know Mike did it, Kern, and a bunch of other guys did it. And they're in California, and so that's where I'd follow suit. But a big part of the reason why they did it is because of the e-filing aspect.
But
Because
I can do, but that was back then, right? We can do it now.
yeah, we can do you can do it using Tyler. Just go to Tyler Technologies.
Hmm.
Their portal. They have a portal that doesn't charge you any. They do charge you, but you don't have to pay anything extra, and you can
Yeah.
actually make your own portal. Get a third party white label provider, and they'll make you a portal for you. You know.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. I would use PST or
Stick
Serve
with it.
Manager. Yeah, I don't like promoting Serve Manager because they kind of their customer support division kind of shut down on me. I don't know what happened, but some people swear by it, and so if you're going to use it, I say keep using it. You know, I don't try to steer anybody away from that. If you're using it, it's working for you, great.
Then just use it. It's not really broken. Maybe it's really not. It's the work that the amount of data that I'm doing that probably isn't necessary, especially when it's little affiliate jobs.
So with affiliates, what I would do is I would say, you know, in order to get the discount, they got to save you some time. So my first question is always, are you doing the proof?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, they're like, how much you charging? We're like, well, you know, that depends. You know, it's 147. Well, I used to charge, 97. So, but you're a process serving company. And they'd say, yeah. And I'd say, well, I do go all the way down to 59, but you have to do the proof of service.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll,
Yeah,
and
so
I'll
I have
use your
companies,
portal.
they literally do everything. All I got to do is print the paperwork out. And I'm like, why am I adding this into Process Server Toolbox? I don't
I
really
would
need to.
not. I would not. And Legal Connect charges you for every job. So
I know. And so
yeah.
I'm like, I might as well just put all that stuff on an Excel sheet. Like that's the only thing would be the invoicing is how I'd have to figure it out. And I wish Process Server Toolbox maybe just had like a quick bill or a quick, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, they do have a one screen now. They do have a one screener. You just
They
have to
do?
click in the top right hand corner. They have a little deal that we use. It's new job entry, and it looks a lot like Serve Manager's job entry.
On
Yeah.
Web PST?
Mhm.
On their website?
Mm.
Okay, well, I'll have
They
to find.
used to have a collaborative where when you put the job in from client A on a different platform, the collaborative would convert it and put the ticket into the system for PST without
Yeah,
having to type it yourself. Talk to
that's true.
Desi about that and see if they still have that in the upgraded versions. And if they do, then that's what you want to do and stick with the PST in that fashion because
Good point.
it'll make your life a heck of a lot.
What's the quick add button? Are you guys talking about the same thing? I'm sorry.
No, well, kind of. So Pete's talking about your job, your company code. So if you do get a lot of affiliate work from other PST users, you could just tell them, hey, can you use what's your
Oh,
company
yeah.
code? And then it'll just port into your system, which is pretty cool. You don't have to do any data entry.
Okay, because I do have a client that I do. Probably most of my biggest affiliate uses PST,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
would do that.
I'm probably annoying them because we're doing it all by email. They probably
Yeah.
hate me. They'd
They're like,
probably
why
like me
doesn't
or
she?
give me more jobs if I wasn't so.
Yeah, no,
So where is the quick ad? Not to say I won't I'll stop, but where is that quick ad? I'm on the web PST.
yeah. And they're on the main page, and then on the top
Hmm.
right hand corner, where there's like a little blue box.
Uh-huh.
That's like it has a bunch of options. One of them is new job, quick job.
Yeah. Ad job.
Yeah.
And then it has a quick job.
Well, I mean, it's not quick, but like it's a
Oh.
job. Yeah, you do the data entry. Yeah.
But it won't. Okay.
I,
I'm
I
just
think
trying to figure out, like, if someone sends me, like, if you were to send me, like, hey, I need you to just go fetch this document real quick
Mhm.
down the street.
Yeah.
I want to sit there for 5 minutes and enter in a
Right.
whole bazooka of stuff. It's literally like, I just want to give someone an invoice for $50 or whatever.
Yeah, Desi can help. I would talk to Desi about it.
Okay.
She'll walk you through it.
Okay.
Her at first, the first couple of years she worked for them, that's all she did was do walkthroughs and showing people how to use it.
Okay.
If you do end up switching, let me know. I'd love to hear like how it goes for you. Like
Now I'm scared.
I continue to every time I get a little wild hair and I think I'm gonna go hire developers to build the software. I bite my tongue and I say no.
Yeah.
No. And mostly it's because there's softwares out there that are already really good. PST and Serve Manager are the best. Serve Manager's ease of use is just unbeatable. They're just so easy to use. But PST has come a long way from their floppy disk downloadable version that they used to have. They were purchased by a company that's planning to invest millions of dollars in them, and so
Oh
that's why.
yeah, ABC, right?
Yeah, this is why I back up PST over all of them, and because
And
Serve
I
Manager.
I
So
actually just, and they're not paying me very much, but I think they're going to send me a lot of jobs, ABC. Like
mm,
I just been picking up their little nugs, I call them, on the way to another job. I'm like, oh, I'll
yeah,
take this $50 because in my area, because it's so rural, most of the jobs are $50.
yeah,
You go to
that's a good
Roseville, they
amount.
want to pay you 16. You're like, oh, you're crazy. I'm not getting out
No,
of bed for that.
no,
So,
but
but
that's good. You're in a
I'll
good
pick
spot for
up,
that.
yeah, I'll pick up $50 on a place that I'm already going and doing 3 stops, right?
Right.
So I've been picking jobs up, and then they contacted me right at the beginning of the year, and they're like, "Hey, would you want to do writs for us, like bank levies?" Which I'm
Mm,
already doing for a couple other affiliates. And these guys aren't even going to pay me half of what they're paying me, but they'll probably send me like 10 a month on average. And it's
mm.
5 minutes to the bank. The 3 banks are each 5 minutes away, and the sheriff is like 10 minutes away.
Do it all the same day or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good, Mandy. You're doing great. Love to hear that. Great feedback. I'm sure a lot of people are deal with their software issues or just like
No.
ease of use. You know, if you need data entry this month, we're actually starting a training where we're going. I'm teaching you guys how to find VAs. We're going to start that on the 21st. So
VAs.
yeah, virtual assistants, and you pay them
Oh,
$2 to $4 an hour. They'll do all your data entry. They'll call. They'll even do be the backup training, where they call and get you new clients. Like I'm going to teach you guys how to not just find them, hire them, but also how to train them. And maybe during this process, this challenge, you guys can pick up a couple of these VAs. You know, maybe for this first go around, I won't take any, and I'll give you guys first dibs on who you want. Yeah, $2 to $4 an hour. You start them off at two, give them raises to four. Adele, you got some?
I was gonna just say I wasn't sure if Mandy's like looking at something like when she was talking about just billing invoices, but I know like bill.com has where you just, you can just send out invoices if you're not trying to type in the whole entire job.
yeah.
They
I think I need to do something like that because I'm like, this is crazy amount of stupid work for little nugget jobs.
And QuickBooks.com
Yeah.
online, they have a really good one too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but PST, I think you talked to Desi about it. Just to tell her like, hey, how can I just add an invoice in a quick job? You know, they used to call it shotgun job, and it was a quick way to add a job using the
Yeah.
downloadable
Okay.
version.
Okay. Well, if you, I don't, maybe if you get a chance, like I can't find Desi's email.
I put it in the chat here. It's
Oh, you did?
yeah, real easy. It's just support at mightywebsitebuilder.com.
That's what it was. I'm so support. Oh, and she sent it. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. Appreciate you as always. Yeah. So when we first started the community, Mandy was one of the first that popped in with us here this second go around anyway. Oh yeah, get a big real estate meetup happening, texting me on my computer. So weird having a computer attached to your phone. It's so weird. Thank you, Edge, for adding that to the chat. Good, good, good. Okay, Edge is one of my VAs. So is Mary. They are awesome. I call them my girls. They do a good job. So someone mentioned that Serve Manager has a form. When I started building out the form, I talked to Trent and a couple guys about it at a conference, and they stole my idea and they started making a form, which was cool because all of their website customers started using the form, and I was able to find them online and sell them websites that were better. But now they continue to do it. So if you are on Serve Manager, if you have Serve Manager and you're not using the form, it's very similar to their form, except ours is completely customizable, and we actually allow you to charge the full credit card fees to the customer. So Desi sets all that stuff up for you. So if you've been wanting to get a website, you can get one for $100 off right now. Just go to mightywebsitebuilder.com. When you're ordering, just it has to be the professional plan to get the $100 off, and that's the one that includes the form. And yeah, just put in MPS 2025. Okay, so fears. Let's see. We're actually about up with the hour here. But just to wrap up this conversation, if anyone has any other topics, you're welcome to bring them up. But just the false expectations appearing real. Let me share my screen. I want to look at this with you guys really quick. This is what we were looking at earlier. Is this idea that these three things here. So either false expectations appearing real, like I'm going to fail because I failed before, limiting beliefs, I'm not good enough. All the people around me and my friends and people weren't, I'm just not like them. I'm the introverted one. So I can't have a business where I could grow it and make money, or pure complacency. This is where I call some people out and just say, you know what? If you got that one customer that's sending you work and you're able to pay your bills, I want to tell you a quick story. When I first started my business, I worked for this lady. Her name was Diane, and she ended up dying of cancer years later. I took all of her attorney clients, used me. She made me her power of attorney. She had not just dozens, but multiple dozens of these companies. I could mention their names. I won't. It's just kind of not very tasteful. I don't like, bashing necessarily, but they all owed her thousands and thousands of dollars when she died that they weren't paying. They would basically owe her, let's say their bill, was $1,000 one month. They would send her a check for 800 or whatever invoices they had closed out, and the rest of it, it just built up every month. They wouldn't pay the full amount. So when she died, they owed her all this money, and I got a bunch of her customers. And so, since I was so busy, I stopped doing my marketing. I stopped focusing on growth, stopped handing out cards, stopped going into attorneys' offices. And one of these companies, One Legal, I'll just call them out because they just sold an InfoTrack. And it's important for you to know too, because One Legal first started e-filing in California. They were one of the first ones to build a portal allowing, I believe in San Diego and in Alameda County, they built the first e-filing portals for them, if I'm not mistaken. Jose, yeah? You got something about that? So while Jose unmutes, they actually had built the portal, and I was getting half of the income I had. It was about $5,000 a month just in court filings, where I would print out the paperwork. I had my two brother printers over here, both working at the same time, print, hole punching, stapling. I was like, I hated paperwork my whole life, and here I am preparing 100 documents a day to take to these three different courts in the different counties that I served. And One Legal was probably half of those court filings. Okay. And that they would pay me all the, $20 a filing, but they give you 10, 20 filings, right? And so it adds up. And then you take it down to the court. Well, when e-filing became permissive, not mandatory, but permissive in my county, my local counties, do you think that One Legal called and said, hey, Mike, e-filing is now a thing and we're going to cut you off. We're not going to send you this work anymore? Do you think I got a courtesy call telling me, Mike, we're not going to be using you for court filing anymore? Put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat if you think I got a.
You got silence instead.
Yeah, I got nothing. They sent me nothing. As a matter of fact, what they sent me was they sent me process serving work, but they would not send me court filings. I said, what happened? And what I got was, well, e-filing is there now. And I was like, oh, okay. So that means I don't have that work anymore. The reason why I'm telling you guys this story is because my expectation was that I was going to continue to get the work that I'm getting. So if you're ever going to lean on fear, lean on the fear that your business is dying every single day that you aren't promoting it. Your business is shrinking and disappearing and dying when you're not promoting it. It just is. It's just the natural state of a business is decline. Why? Employees get tired. If you have a big giant company that's super successful, Then you have employees that just get tired of being there. You get the building that rots over time, right? Like it's just what it does. It's the natural way of things. And so the way that you hedged your bets against this natural decline in business is to force appreciate the growth of your business. The backup scripts are just the thing you do every single day. You just make the calls that I'm teaching you to make so that you can get the customers so that it continues to grow. And then you can afford to raise your rates because you're building relationships with new customers every single day, new potential customers every single day. And if you continue to stay part of this community, which I promise is going to benefit you, the community is going to stay free. We're going to continue to grow together. Um, and the marketing side of it is something that I haven't finished yet. The marketing side of things is we went into it pretty deep when I was traveling, and then we kind of cut it off. I'm going to circle back to it because there's a lot of things that we haven't covered that you want to at some point take care of. But I would not do the marketing stuff. I would have us build the website for you, build your own website, use one of these other platforms, whatever you're going to do, but get it set up so that it's done. And then when you're marketing to people and they go to find you online, they can find you online and see that you're a legitimate company, right? And then now it's just focusing on calling. See, so many people want to design their logo or, redesign their business card or whatever in place of getting new clients. I'll leave you with this one more thing here. Yeah, we have some questions in the chat too. Would you waste time walking into offices or stick to the phones mostly? So yeah, so I've always said, well, that's what I did. When I first built my company, I walked into offices. I didn't know that calling was a thing, because I would call in the paralegal. This is probably what a lot of you guys think. I would call in the paralegal, would be like, "Oh, what? No, we already have a process server. We already have one. We use one. We like them." And so that wasn't something that I did. I would walk in and I would try to magically, like smooze, maybe flirt with the paralegal, whatever, try to get my foot in the door. But after going into real estate after COVID, I'm telling you guys, if you guys, I don't know how, if you know me, you know my story, but, sparing you all the details, an entire city burned down where I was working, where I served most of my papers in Paradise, California. And then COVID happened, and then one thing after another. So I literally closed my business, not like officially. I was still getting calls and still had servers I was sending work to, but I literally moved to Florida. Not just literally, figuratively, packed up my car, moved to Florida for 3 years. It was the best time of my life. Okay. But, you know, you just never know what's going to happen to you. I had to live in my office because I was booted out of my place because I got divorced at the same time. So I lived in my Redding office up in Northern California for like 6 months. Had Christmas in a 1-bedroom office. I had police knocking on my door saying, "Is someone living in here?" Yeah. Yeah. So it was a really low time for me. And yeah, Pete served for me on the south side. Are you still going to Paradise, Pete?
Not for serves, no, but for delivery services for suitcases and for tire guy. Yeah, I go up that way.
Mm,
But yeah, it's still not, they're still building it out. But the parts that are recovered, they look beautiful
nice.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. And just take action because you never know what's going to happen. You just never know what's going to happen. If I wouldn't have invested in software, wouldn't have been able to pay my bills. I don't even know what would have happened. But my 123 e-file software in California paid the bills while I just tried to make it work up in Reading, and it didn't work. And then COVID hit, man. And I got sick before COVID became like a thing. And I was sick for 2 weeks. It was for sure COVID. I know, just nobody knew what it was called, and it was so cold up there. And when I went to Florida, I learned real estate. And in real estate, I learned that if you don't pick up the phone, you don't make any money. If you don't pick up the phone and prospect, You don't make any money. So applying that to this industry was the best thing that I could do. I thought, what if, for those of you guys that think I'm blowing smoke and are new to the community, look at the 10K challenge. I know some of the videos are like 4 hours long, but I literally sat down and recorded myself calling. I did a market analysis to see who the competitors were here locally. I called all of the big shot firms that had more than 1,000 reviews on Google, and I told them, "Hey, I'm pretty sure you already have a server, but I was wondering if maybe I could be a backup for you. I'll send you over my rate sheet." Where did I get the idea of a rate sheet? I got the idea of a rate sheet from California. Everybody in California would share a rate sheet with each other with the zip codes, and the zip codes would say how much you charge for the different zip code. And you'd put that in a TriStar. That was the software everyone used. And TriStar would recommend the top 3 servers or whatever based on how many miles away it was from the zip code of the address. It's a genius idea, genius model. And I know Dennis, he's a great guy, Dennis Chables, but it's just you gotta move with the times, make your software look prettier, make it, develop. And there's a lot of guys that still use it, but I don't recommend it anymore. It's gotten really expensive too, which when you only have 10 customers, you gotta charge a lot more money, you know. So yeah, that's all I have. What else we got here? I see Jose's hands up. Gonna ask to unmute. I think Jose might have accidentally put his hand up. Can't hear you, buddy. Or see you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
No, man, no. I signed up for the website to kind of everything that Desi was doing is pretty much what I wanted. More simply, it's a simplified, simple, get to the target, right? And
Yeah.
I use Serve Manager. I've been using Serve Manager for the last 12 years, and I liked about it was the simplicity of it. Because it's like it could connect to a lot of networks if you think about it. I use Zapier to do automation systems, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I pretty much do. But Desi's doing the way I really wanted it. She's good, dude. I'm
Yeah.
being honest. The way she put it to me, she's trying to finish it still. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I get it, bro. I get it. And you're right about the times we have to be. You got to jump in the train right now. And the only company that I work with now as a affiliate is it's One Legal because they integrated with Serve Manager, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I said okay, I'll work with you. But they're very specific about zip codes and all that. So yeah, I'm pretty much making good money with them. The fact that I don't have to do the proofs, they do all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they save me a lot of time from data entry, to be honest. Um, and sometimes the forms work because the form put all the information in your database. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key that why I switched to Serve Manager was the fact that it was able to implement all the data, and all I had to do is a little twig on it, right? All you do is okay here, and that's it, pretty much, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to the new website. You're gonna see it eventually when she publishes.
And she'll take care of it. Yeah, she's, I've told her before, she tells me like, okay, start selling again. because I'll fill her pipeline with like 10, 12 serves. When we first started the business and she started working with me, I think we had like 12 websites from one conference, and she was taking forever. I'm like, hey, do you want me to start building them? So I tried to help her, and then she came in and was just like, I have to just redo the whole thing. Like it doesn't look good. She hated my websites. So we agree that the VAs will get them ready for her. They're way better than me anyway. Mary's on here right now. She's one of our top website builders. She's really good. She'll get it ready, and then Desi will make it look really pretty and dial it in. She's got OCD, so she'll make sure all the color codes match and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just you know what I mean, just and then getting those reviews. That's one that she said something that she did like that I didn't have in my current website, which is from Serve Manager. I was limited reviews, and actually in the website she's building, you could put all the reviews.
Yeah,
Which
she'll automate it.
yeah, it just man, it's so cool, and then it's
Yeah.
totally different, than what I would have expected though. But yeah,
Well,
but
our website builder connects directly to your Google, connects directly to your Google.
right.
So whenever you upload something or you do a post or change anything, it'll just go right on the website.
Yeah, see with that, it was Serve Manager. We don't have that. We don't have those features. You
Yeah.
know, what I mean? And it's worth it for what 500. To be honest, it's a deal, dude. I'm telling you, some people are charging like it's
10,000.
crazy. It's crazy. And I'm like, I mean,
Yeah, if I were to build, to be
grateful.
honest with you, if I were to build the websites from scratch without using our builder, it would cost $5,000 or $10,000 at least because the code that goes behind it and the SEO. But our tool, we have AI, we've just built on top of it. So we're able to create templates. Like those of you guys that want a website, you wanted one of our free templates. We got 4 different templates and then no setup fee, $27 a month, while you get some serves under your belt. And then once you got some serves going, you can afford, the $400. If you're part of the community, it's not 500, it's 400. You actually being a part of this community, you just go and put MPS 2025. And if you've already done that in the last 30 days, then maybe I'll break you off 100. Maybe I'll throw you 100. But
I
Brent,
signed up on the end of the beginning of the year. I just signed up, and it was
okay.
on the before the 31st. Yeah, I signed up for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Well, so people, you guys want to sign up, it's no pressure, right? That's the thing. But
Right.
Nate says being complacent is all the fear of success is also a fear of success. Yeah, that's true. When you're complacent, you don't do what you know you should be doing. Sometimes that is why you're complacent is because you're like, you know what, if I do XYZ, I might blow it up. Let me tell you, like, just make the calls. And you know what? If you really, 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 really want to be that person, because I've been that person, um, offer to split it with me. Offer 50-50. Say, Mike, if you get me an attorney, because you can ride my coattails, right? It sounds crazy to say it that way, but it's true. Because what you're thinking is that you have a limiting belief or you're complacent that I have enough customers, right? But if you can maybe partner, you like the way that sounds better, maybe partner with somebody who's going to take that mantle on that isn't afraid to make $1 million or willing to say it, right? Then you can go and say, Mike, let's go. I haven't set anything like that up yet. I'm just saying, like, talk about it. It doesn't have to be me. It could be that really talkative person that that actually comes into your office to clean the floors. And they just are always like, Johnny on the spot. They're witty. They're happy all the time. Tell them, be like, how much would you charge me? Would you like, I have a list of attorneys. I would give you $100 for each person that you would get to commit to sending us a job, and then maybe you can afford to pay them minimum wage. Say, I'll pay you minimum wage plus this amount of money for every attorney that you get that hires us. Be creative. If you don't want to make the calls yourself, be creative and get somebody else to do it. That's what a business owner would do, right? They would get creative and figure out an answer to the problem. I appreciate you offering this today. Yeah, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to, this is what I would help me, I should say, and I would appreciate is if you guys go inside the Facebook group, whatever Facebook group it is. I don't care if they hate on your post and tell them how much value you got from being a part of this community. If you didn't get value, then go inside our community. Someone left. Who was it? I want to know who it is right now. I'm just kidding. Someone. Okay, if you're not getting value, go inside our school community and post, hey, this is what I want to hear about. This is where I need the most help. Because if you don't do that, I don't know. And I can't help you, right? Yeah, yeah. Yes, definitely. Getting some direct messages here. You don't have to direct message me. You could send them to the whole thing. I'm not. Yes. Oh, you're so sweet. No, guys, I will help you. You don't have to give me money. I was just giving you an example of how you could solve a problem and you could partner with somebody to make it happen. But I will say offering someone money or value is the way to get them to engage with you. Because sometimes if they don't think there's anything for them, they may not, right? They may be like, well, I could go do this thing and that thing. Why would I do that? Right. So yeah, if you aren't getting value, you don't want to love it. Anything else from you guys before we close out? Being shy. Adele's fears being shy.
At the school? Yes. Oh, okay.
Okay. So I have an interview. Is it today? Yeah, it's the 14th. I have an interview
See you,
with
okay?
Big Jacob. Is that with you, Jacob? Right?
You welcome? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interviewing Jacob. Let me meet you, Jose. I don't want to hear your drug deal going on. Just kidding. Oh, I forgot to ask you, Jose, about LA. Well, if you want, you can unmute and tell me about LA. I know you're over there. Yeah. What's going on, brother? You staying safe over there? I forgot about that with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank God. Yeah, I'm here in Temple City, so I was like 5 miles away from the fires.
Yeah, the whole place is burned down. You got like a bunch of
Yeah.
actresses and actors walking down the street. It's not I mean,
Uh,
it's kind of funny, but it's not, right? Like,
yeah. No, I'm right here now. Well, I'm in the Altadena, with Pasadena out. That's actually my coverage area. But yeah,
mm,
dude, starting from Lincoln off the freeway, all that is you can't even go in there. You ain't even allowed to go in there no more. Um,
just
I had a couple of
devastating.
drives. I had to close them out. Like, sorry, dude. And
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
It's like the Paradise Fire. You know what I will say though? Don't if you're getting a lot of see like I'd say 1/3 my business was in Paradise when the place burned down, and that was before it burned down, and when it burned down, it just skyrocketed. It was like all my business was up there, and so some of my biggest customers were like, "You won't go up there? Like, we send you evictions. We send you 1,000 evictions a year. Like why aren't you going up there?" And I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't, I got a gun put in my face. I got one guy was crying on the porch of his RV. I mean, after the fire stopped, and it was safe to drive up there. I just couldn't do it. So I essentially just quit serving up there. I said, no, I'm not going up there. And so, but yeah, so be safe, man. I just wanted to say be safe and, stay strong and try to find a way to spin it for the good.
oh yeah, yeah. So so
Yeah.
far the air is clear over here. What it was before, it was bad. It was just, but we're just taking it day by day. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if you're familiar, but which I'm sure it's in full force down there, but there's the LDS Church. They actually have what's called the Bishop Storehouse, and it's literally a grocery store. The first time I saw it, I was shocked. I'm like, who shops here? They're like, nobody shops here. You just come get free stuff. But it had like milk, you know what I mean? Like how it is in the grocery store with milk and
Right.
creamer and bread and stuff. So you may, if you know anybody who's in help, have them look at for a Mormon LD. We call it Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints, but the slang term is Mormons. But they have grocery stores everywhere where they only give it away, and they keep them fully stocked. And if they get low, you see semi trucks coming in. They own their own orchards. They own half of California. Desert Farms is the actual name of the company. But anyways, yeah, if you
Thanks,
know
man.
anybody that needs help,
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, of course, man, of course. I saw Jessica had her hand up, and I thought she missed the first meeting of her life today. And then I saw her hand up. What's up?
No, I'm here. Hello. I was going to share one of my false expectations, and that is getting too big, too busy, too fast, and being alone and not having any resources around me, which is totally false. But it's still something in my head. And thanks to this community and the skills that you've taught, I've made great relationships with people that I need and that would bend over backwards for me because they know I would do the same for them. So it's been a great experience to meet everybody and have that support in my business.
Yeah.
But I still
Yeah.
have that fear, like it's still there.
What's really crazy about that though is that you are somebody who just takes such massive action. Like you took everything that I told you, you did it all, and then you went the next level and was like, yeah, he talks about it, but let me YouTube it real quick. And then you learned all about the. And so if there was ever a time where you had too much business and you didn't have enough time to go serve it, you could hire somebody. You could, there's just a bunch of different things that you could do. You could bring on a friend and say, hey, do you mind just helping me a couple days? Like
Oh
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I have done that, but I still have that fear. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. Like me and Hillary got together yesterday and we were making calls. Like I would call a law firm and then she would call one next to me.
Oh,
And it's like, if I was doing it for her, it would be so easy for me to
yeah.
call and say, hey, this is Hits Legal Services, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So it's just funny,
So
like
funny.
your own inner confidence, how that works.
It really is. It really is a mindset thing of like, um, and I don't think maybe I had it at some point when I was young, right? Like when I had first had kids and I was trying to get a job. I remember thinking like, how am I going to tell this person a certain set of words that's going to get them to hire me, you know? But at some point you learn that like, and maybe like when I did real estate and I learned it, I got so many people to cuss at me and be upset with me. I learned that, you know, just do it. Be a robot when it comes to taking the action. And that's what I need to tell myself when it comes to like weight loss, right? Like doing the certain things, eating the right foods. When you do what you're supposed to do, you get the result you're trying to get. It's like it's crazy. It's like if you mix, you know, if you mix the right ingredients to make a certain meal and you follow the recipe, you're going to get the meal that you set out to create, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. When you do what you know you're supposed to do and you keep doing it, you just get in that flow state and everything becomes so much easier and all the noise goes away. So I got to get back to that state of mind.
And there's no better feeling, right, Jessica, when you get an attorney that's like, yeah, sure, actually, yeah, send me an email, send me the rate sheet. And then they're like, and then you see their email. I get screenshots all the time. I should post them more, but I get screenshots all the time and video recordings from people that say, you know, look here, you know, they just sent me an email, got a new job from one of the my rate sheets I sent out, you know. And that's a good feeling for me, someone who like, you know, started the community and stuff. It's a really good, that's probably the best reward I could get is to know that it's working for you guys, you know. So good stuff, Jessica. Thank you for sharing. If you have those limiting beliefs that you know that you won't be able to handle the work, or sometimes it's I've known some people where it's like they have a sibling they were very competitive with, and their sibling's always the one who's successful, and they're not, right? So sometimes it's a psychological thing from when you were a kid, you know, or your parents disagree with the choice you made and what type of career, or the friends that you had knew you as the, let's say Jacob, you know, they knew you as the probation officer, and here you are now trying to do a Facebook Live, bro. Who do you think you are, bro? And then Jacob's just like showing them what's up, you know, building a business, taking action, being consistent. If you guys don't already follow Mr. Hermosi, you should. He's you know, some of his videos are kind of long, but he goes into really detail about the mindsets of business, the different things to think about when it comes to business. Um, and I've learned a lot from him. He's actually the one who did school. He invested in school and really helped blow it up. The school platform we're on for the community. So if you're new to the community, I just see a couple names I don't see very often. Tiffany, I know you're in the community now. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Nate. What's up, Nate? Nate comes around. What's up, guys? Dawn. You guys are all crushing it. I appreciate you guys showing up to the meeting. Um, let's see here. Thank you for your time, True Giver. A book suggestion for you all to read. What's your book suggestion, Tiffany? Da, 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 da. I don't see it. She said something about a book suggestion. I want to get with Go Giver. Yeah, Go Giver. Absolutely. Listen, Go Giver will teach you that you have to give, right? But at some point, the way that you find success on a large scale is by increasing the amount of people that you help. And if you're serving papers and that's the way that you're planning to do this, then you had better increase the amount of people that send you papers on a consistent, reoccurring basis. And those are attorneys, property managers, collection agencies, judgment recovery specialists, right? I wish I could be here more, but that's just proof that your system works. I'm too darn busy. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. It's more about you guys taking action and just on your own business and thinking about what's next, you know? It's okay. It's okay to work hard and then take time off and spend time with your family. That's fine. But are you doing this is a lot. I'll leave you with this. a coach, one of my real estate coaches who taught me how to prospect and how to get people to list their house with me. I was a top producing realtor in Florida. And the way that I was able to get there was by calling. And every type of list that you call is a little bit different. If I'm calling a for sale by owner, it's somebody who's overconfident that thinks they can sell on their own. And I have to follow up with them. This is the game we're playing. We're following up with attorneys and paralegals over a long period of time, showing them that we're still in business, basically. Right. There's other types of lists, however, they're ready to go right now. Okay. And maybe you find that when you call a specific type of customer that they almost always have a serve ready for you, right? But the one thing I will say is the law of the harvest. If you haven't been doing it and making the calls for 90 days, before I said 30 days, but in this industry, you probably want to go like 90 days. If you haven't been making 2 to 5 connections and sending out 2 to 5 emails a day with your rate sheet and for 90 days, then don't say it doesn't work. Do it for 90 days and then look and then lift your head up. Like nose to the grindstone. Do it first thing in the morning when you think attorneys are there, first thing as soon as they get there. Not while they're in court. Okay. You got to figure out when they're in court, what type of litigation attorneys you're calling. And remember, for the most part, we're never talking to the attorney. We're talking to the secretary or paralegal. We're getting our email in their inbox, finding out who is the person that sends out the serves, and that's it. Thursdays, we go over the actual script, and I actually call your market, your city. I call attorneys in your city as if I work for you, and we haven't had it not work yet. Like everybody says, sure, send me an email with your rate sheet, and you do. Has anyone gotten work from it? Has anyone made money from it yet? I'm curious, people who are on here have any feedback about that leading into Thursday here. Tomorrow's Wednesday, then we have Thursday, and we're going to do it again, be the backup coaching. Before we close out, I'd love to hear from anybody who's actually doing it. Have you gotten work? Have you guys had any attorneys send you guys business from calling?
So last week I called one and that fear set in because the voicemail came on.
Mm.
And I don't remember if I left a voicemail or not. But coincidentally or not, I don't know, man. I got a call from that attorney office because it's kind of unique. The name was kind of unique. So I went back to my notes. I keep notes on everything. So I went back to my notes when I did the calls, and she was one of the ones that I had called and got the voicemail, but I don't recall if I left the voicemail. Anyways, I got a job, and that's the one I served Saturday morning up in New Braunfels. So and it was in that pack of calls that I had done Thursday. So I'm going to claim it. It was as a result of the calls. Yeah.
You do it, man. You take the action, you take the mighty action, and you get the calls, man. I love it. That's a great example. How much info is on your rate sheet? Do you put every option on it?
That's a great question.
Yeah. So, my recommendation is that you only put on there your special, not your website rate, your special rate. And if actually, Desi and I only recently started doing this, but if you're one of our customers, you can ask her to add, she's going to hate me for saying this, but you can ask her to add a promo code. Oh, this is genius. I should do this on mine. And so what you do is you have your website rate, whatever the rate is. Okay. But I'll tell you, mine is 147. We don't do price fixing here. This is live on YouTube. We don't do price fixing here. We're just talking about general rates and ideas. Okay. But mine is 147. And so what I would do is I would do like a really good discount, like a $97 rate, right? And I would make that a promo code. So promo code, like right now, when you sign up for a website, you get $100 off MPS 2025. Do something like that. Call it, lawyer, or no, something really easy. Like if you're in California, do CA 2025, Texas, do TX 2025, something. And just give them that $50 discount and on that first order when they go to order using your forms tag form. Because once an attorney, and you're only sending that sheet with that promo code to just that attorney, right? And then so when they order using your form, they can use the same form everyone else uses, but they get that discounted rate. That is something we haven't really implemented with the price sheet. Generally, the price sheet though is it does show attorney rates, and it's more of an ad, not a rate sheet. So when we say rate sheet or price sheet, it's really just an ad. And inside the community, we have a couple examples linked, but I know a bunch of people in the community have one you can look at. If you guys don't already have one, you can post inside the community. Hey, can you guys post your rate sheets for examples? I want to create one, and you'll get a bunch of them. Your guys' rate sheets are so much better than mine. Mine's pretty good, but that's it. And then for your website, this is is news for some people because they're like, well, I don't have different rates on my website. Well, your rates on your website should definitely be the most expensive rates you have, because people are like, well, then I'll lose business. Be like, well, that's people are going to call and they're going to use you based on, is it a professional company? Are they in the right area? There's so many other factors that people consider. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be the cheapest option. You just don't. There's one of my coaches I've paid a lot of money to in real estate. He calls them the free people. And every community has the free people. They're the ones who never buy anything, they never sign up for anything. And that's okay. You have the free people. But the free people really is around a mindset of, I won't spend any money on anything. And so sometimes you'll get people that will come to your website and they will be, but they ask the most. So they pay the less, they ask the most. So those free people are the ones who, when they come to your website, are the ones that are going to look at the rate and go, oh, he's cheap enough or he's not cheap enough. And if they think you're cheap enough, they'll hire you, but then they're going to be the ones that call you 10 times a day. Right? Like a lot of affiliates, they'll give you 2 or 3 jobs a day, and they'll want to pay you 50% of your rate, and they'll call you 12 times asking for status the same exact day. And one of the stories I told you, I've told a million times, but I find it funny, is First Legal. I'll call them out on this because it's funny. Because in a way, it's a good thing for them, because they have this one lady, Mary, who would call me. She would call me on a same day. She'd send it to me and she'd call me and I'm like, yes, I'm on my way to go serve it now. Then she called me again as I'm at the person's door knocking. I'm like, do you know that everywhere I drive here is a 45-minute drive from to the first door? Will you leave me alone? So I'm knocking on the door. She calls me. After I get back in the car and I'm putting it in the system, she calls me. And finally I told her, I said, Mary, from now on, every time you call me, I'm charging you $5. And she was like, excuse me? I said, yeah, every time I have to pick up the phone and take the time out of my day to answer your call, I'm charging you $5. I don't recommend you do that to customers that take care of you, pay their bill on time, stuff like that. But if you get some that don't pay their bill on time, they take forever to pay you, and it's just your whole life is turned upside down and you're annoyed every time you see your phone ring, then that's probably a customer you don't want. And just tell them you can control them by their pocketbook by just raising your prices and charging for things they're not willing to pay for. I would not fire a client just by telling them, don't send me any more work. I fire clients by charging them too much money. Right? Somebody calls and wants you to go 5 hours somewhere, blah blah blah. Be like, yeah, I can handle that. Even if you know someone or you don't know someone, and you're like, I guess I could go there. I really don't want to though. Just charge more. You will be shocked what people will pay. And you will be willing to drive the 5-hour drive for the $1,200 they're willing to pay. Right? All of a sudden, it's not that bad. You're like, actually, I got this. I don't know if I would go 5 hours for 1,200. Anyways, you get the point. Just charge too much money, and you'll be surprised how many people actually just say, okay, all right. Like that $5,000 serve I got. I was like, if you want me to drop everything, it's going to be at least $500. And I didn't want to go up to Reading, which was like 2 hours. It was about an hour and a half north. And he was like, once he knew I could be controlled with money, or that my business was based on money, my time was, he could buy my time. He was like, boy, he's like, dude, if you serve it today, I'll give you $5,000. And he did. I pre-authorized his card for 5,000. I drove up there, skip traced all his known addresses, called all of his family members, everybody. Finally tracked him down at an AA meeting or Hobie House meeting, whatever it's called. And if you start charging more money like that, people will pay it. You just have to ask for it. Don says, I've had 3 of the $500 jobs. I would have never asked someone for that much. I do now. Good job, Dawn. That is from Dawn being a long-standing member of the community. She's probably heard me say that I've the $5,000 story so many times. Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to tell me you got a $5,000 or even whatever. It almost seems unreal now, but I have a video of it and I remember it. So, and I remember the 5,000. I kept thinking, and some people probably think like, well, that's unethical. It was $500 fee, and he was going to give me a tip, a $4,500 tip if I got it done that day. I had to serve it that day. If I was able to be successful, I was going to get that. So that's how I look at it. I dropped everything I was doing, pulled out all the stops to go serve it that day, and I got it done. Would you get it done? I'll leave you guys on that. Hey, go out there, take some mighty action. And if you guys have questions or you need help, I know there's been a lot of comments I've seen over here that I didn't comment on, but I'm happy to address privately. If you guys want to send me a message on school inside the school community, just click on my face and then you can click message. I think that's how it works. And then the community has been awesome. If you guys have questions, feel free to get inside the community, ask your questions. I know Jeff, Jose, and I want to inspire you guys for just a second. If you're just a process server, and I'd say that lovingly, okay, that's how we make our money if you're knocking on doors, right? But if you're just a process server and you're so limited to thinking that all you can do is serve papers because that's what your website says, I want to just point out a few people here to you right away. Mr. Jose, record retrieval, California, dominating, doing multiple record retrievals, recordings, e-recordings, and different things inside in California on such a high level. Reach out to Jose inside the community. Okay. Jacob Davis, he's a courier who also is a marketing guy. He understands marketing at a high level. He understands real estate even, right? He understands solar, like so much experience. You reach out to Jacob. Jessica is killing it with SEO. Reach out to her. She knows about SEO with websites and stuff. I could go on and on. Don has been in the business forever. Jeff has been in the business forever. Nate is in the car right now about to give someone bad news. Aren't you, Nate? Mandy bought a business from someone who has already been doing the business for a while, and it has put her in her car where she can go and knock on doors and she's been through that process of actually buying a business. What does that look like? What does the contracts look like? There's just so many. I could go on and on and on. Mike Kern recently joined the community. I don't know how he'd feel about me saying this, but he's like a multi-millionaire. He has multiple locations. He's bought multiple businesses. He's involved in every aspect of process serving in state, every state in some level through NAPS, right? So the community is growing, but it's already has such a solid foundation that is pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting to see. So I'm already getting messages on school. If you guys, I'm going to go over there. I got to go interview. I get the wonderful opportunity to interview Mr. Jacob Davis. I'm going to do it live as well. And so that'll be on StreamYard. So you guys can go to the YouTube channel. I would encourage you to go to the YouTube channel in the chat and just comment and like the video and everything. I'm going to post a link to the video inside of school so you guys have it. But that really helps it boost up, and then anybody who searches process server will have a higher chance of seeing these videos and becoming a part of our community. Thank you guys so much. Again, go check out the directory. On February 1st, it's going up to $47 a month for the directory. I'll go ahead and put it here in the chat. It's $37 a month for a statewide listing, which is ultimately what you want. You can wait till February 1st and get the $10 county listing. But it's just for that county, right? It's not for different counties, it's just for that one. And so the statewide listing really is the way to go. It's $37 a month. You could lock it in. And I promise you, in a year, it will be $97 a month for a statewide listing. This is going to be ranking in every city, county, and state across the country.
The
So I'm gonna
ones
put-
who already have a subscription for 37, it stays that way, correct?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's going to keep going up $10 a month until we get to 97. I'll probably stay at 97 because I don't know, charging more than, I don't know. I know that ServeNow charges like 500 or 3 to 500, somewhere between 3 and 500, depending on the population for a state listing. And we're going to be ranking right there with them. So if you can't afford it, please don't do it. I don't want you to spend the last money you have on that, but I also don't want you to wait and then have to pay, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You're going to hear about it every single month until we get to $97 per month for a listing. So, and people will pay it because it will bring you business. One job will pay for the entire month of your listing. So I put that in there. Thank you guys so much. Take care, be safe, and as always, live mighty.